Hi everybody, it's Sierra. This video is a little different than what I've been doing lately, and I'm just going to jump straight into it because it's pretty crazy. So last Saturday I had a normal day. I went out to a pumpkin patch, I posted pictures on my Instagram, I had a great day, and I come home and I'm eating dinner with Drake and we're watching some TV when I just feel the most terrible cramps ever. And at first it wasn't so extreme, but about 20 minutes after my first cramp, it was to the point where I'm screaming in pain. Like I'm grabbing onto like my shelf and I'm screaming, and Drake doesn't know what to do because we live in an apartment complex. So he's like trying to get me to bike down on a cloth so I'm not like screaming and scaring other people. So after about 20 minutes of having these insane cramps, we're like, okay, we're going to the ER. This is obviously pretty serious. And we get to the ER and it's awful. They put me on morphine immediately because I'm in so much pain. I've never been in that much pain in my entire life, and I've had some very painful events. So that was, just for that to be the most painful thing I've ever experienced is insane. In that moment, after I've had so many cramps and I'm screaming, I ask, my doctor, or well, not my doctor, I asked the nurse in the room, I said, am I having a miscarriage? And she's like, more than likely, yes. And I look at Drake and it's just like, we're at this point, we're like, this has to be a miscarriage. There's no way this isn't happening. I'm losing the child. Like, there's no way I can be in this much pain and not be having a miscarriage. And I knew that was always possible, like that happens, but I always thought it would be earlier, 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, not almost 12 weeks, which I know can happen at 12 weeks, but I always figured if it was gonna happen to me, it would happen earlier. And that is when I started getting terrified. And I get like emotional just thinking about it. And I look at Drake and he's really trying to be strong for me, but when Drake gets like nervous or scared, he gets really red in the face, which he already has a really red face, and he gets hives on his nose. So he starts like getting those hives and getting really red, and I knew that he, thought we were having a miscarriage too, just by his face. And in that moment, I felt really powerless. I felt, and this is going to sound like kind of crazy, but when you're going through something like that and you think I'm not going to have my baby in the next few minutes to hours, you start to think of some crazy things. And the first thing I thought of was, I haven't been a good person my whole life. I've done some not necessarily good things. In the past 2 years, I've been really trying to get to know myself and be a better person and do all this self-help stuff. But before those 2 years, I wasn't always making the best decisions with other people in my life. So when you go through something like that, in my head, I'm thinking, this must be my karma for everything I've been through before. I'm like, it makes sense. This would happen to me. Maybe I deserve this. That's what I thought, because I realized, the more I become the person I am, the more I realized how not good of a person I was before. And so naturally I'm thinking, God is telling me that this is my karma. This is why, I can't have a child, is because I made bad decisions. And so I'm just going through all these dots in my head, and I'm telling Drake, if I lose this baby, I don't think I'm going to be okay. Like, this is after, everything with my first child and the adoption. I didn't want to lose another child. I wanted a baby so bad, and I couldn't have my first, and now I actually get another opportunity, and my life is at an amazing point that it's ever been in, and I feel so happy with myself. And for something like that to happen, I felt so powerless and so weak. And so we go on, and we're about to find out if I'm having a miscarriage, and I just feel, I'm so scared. I'm praying, I'm posting on my Instagram, I'm asking people for prayers, and I'm not even super religious, but I'm getting any extra energy and prayers I can get around. And just like praying and hoping. I'm just looking at Drake, and I'm getting paranoid, and I just really want this baby. And so she looks on the ultrasound thing, and we see the baby, and Drake sees it, but she doesn't tell us the results. She says, I can't give you the results. I have to give the information to the doctor, and the doctor can give you the results. So we wait about an hour after that, and the doctor says, I'm not having a miscarriage. We don't know what's going on. They do another ultrasound to make sure like everything's okay in there. Turns out my placenta had moved a little bit, And on top of that, with constipation from medicine, that's probably what caused the pain, but they don't really know, which is another fear. What if this happens again, because it was so painful? So I end up getting admitted into the hospital that night, and I'm on a ton of morphine, and I have like, I don't know if my camera will pick it up, but I have like all like black and blue bruises, and it was just, I hated every minute of it, but knowing that I wasn't going to lose my child was a blessing, and I feel like it also humbled me. And I'm not making this video because I want people to feel bad for me, because nothing really happened. It was basically just a scare. But I want to make this video to share, one, my experience. Two, I'm sharing my journey throughout this whole pregnancy online, so my kid can watch this one day. But three, going through that, I've realized, you know, I may not have experienced that, and it still could happen. I'm still, in my first trimester, it could still very well happen, with that being said. But I realized I never really took a lot of women who had miscarriages before seriously. Of course, I felt bad for them, but I get it now. And I feel like those women and men who experience that, they're so much stronger than what I gave them credit for before. And I feel like they don't get enough credit as it is. And if you know someone who's had a miscarriage, or if you're watching this and you've had one and this is really sad for you, whatever you're going through watching this, I want to let you know that you are like so amazingly strong and brave, and whether or not you struggled with it after or struggled with it before, I am astonished, and you deserve the world. And I know people have trouble having kids, and I know that people, sometimes they can't carry children, or sometimes just miscarriages happen before a child, or whatever the situation may be. I just want to say, you guys deserve more credit than you deserve, and you are all amazing people. I don't know if I could have handled myself if that would have happened to me. And with that being said, that was just me wanting to share my experience and give the women out there credit, because that's hard. That's some real stuff right there, and I can't imagine anybody going through that. And if you know someone who's gone through that or is going through that right now, please do me a favor and do them a favor and show them as much love and appreciation as possible, because they might not be showing that they're hurting or they're struggling, but they're still just as important if they wouldn't have lost that child. And that's really all this video is that. But baby is good, baby is okay. As of today, I'm filming, which this won't be up until probably tomorrow, but I am 12 weeks pregnant today. Baby is healthy, and I'm going to be finding out the gender really soon, so be looking forward to that video on my channel. And I have a lot of things coming as well. And if you guys want to support my Patreon, I will put that in the description box below, as well as my Instagram and my new Twitter account. Make sure to follow me on all those if you want, of course, because I do give updates about the baby and all kinds of amazing information. So make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week, hopefully with not as scary of a story. Bye.